Marvel Cinematic Universe is one of Hollywood's greatest success stories, at least financially. This superhero genre has been run dry for almost a decade now, but for whatever reason, super fans have kept it in the black, and we get a new one like every few months. But and they're usually pretty lame, like Thor Ragnarok. But Black Panther is different. It's a lot of fun because Director Ryan Coogler is a good storyteller, has a good cast, and he has a story to tell. T'Challa is the new king of Wakanda after his father was murdered in Captain America: Civil War. Now, as the Black Panther, he is tasked with taking down a master criminal played by Andy Serkis, who intends on stealing Wakanda's energy and selling it to the highest bidder. But what he doesn't know is that the real villain is one of his subordinates, and he has a very, very sordid history with T'Challa and his father, and intends on making Wakanda pay for past misdeeds in blood. I'm really getting sick of superheroes, especially Marvel movies. They're all the same by design, and there are far too many of them. They're like less on storytelling and more on incessant fan service and in jokes and Stan Lee cameos and actual good storytelling. This is different. It's very well constructed. There's a lot going on, and the characters are fun, and the action scenes are well staged, and he doesn't. Ryan Coogler doesn't go for big, like a lot of. He doesn't fall in the trap of a lot of superhero movies. He knows that going big isn't necessarily better. He concentrates more on the characters and their motivations. That way, the stakes feel high. Yeah, there's plenty of action and eye candy. I won't deny that, and it's a lot of fun. But it's suspenseful and exciting because he's a good storyteller, and there's a lot at stake. We care about these characters, and he's able to cull strong performances from his cast. Lupita Nyong'o is great as T'Challa's girlfriend. Danai Gurira is great as his bodyguard. I mean, Badass really does not do her justice. And then his sister, I forget the actress's name, but their scenes that are really funny. And Michael B. Jordan is fabulous as the villain. He's actually intimidating. And Andy Serkis, poor Andy Serkis. I mean, he's given one terrific performance after another in everything from The Lord of the Rings to Brighton Rock, which I don't know if you've seen, but he was fabulous in his one scene. He stole the entire movie. And he's just having a ball chewing the scenery as an out-and-out villain. And I really like this movie. I
got a bunch of little balls all over. Yeah. Part of the reason is he's so happy about it.
Yeah. I give it a 3.5.
Okay. It's a 3.5 for me too.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak more for the for the big fans of these films. Now, I'm not a comic book guy, but I'm a comic book movie guy. I think the general movie-going audience is evidenced by the insane numbers that these films are doing. This just passed $1 billion by box office, and this is one of the lesser-known superhero characters. Just goes to show how well the Marvel Cinematic Universe is firing on all cylinders. I feel like when they can have a movie like a Guardians of the Galaxy, which is really a big space opera comedy, but also really has some emotional
it has emotional weight to it, unlike Thor Ragnarok or a lot of these other lesser Marvel movies.
But I feel like these are good variations. So like Thor is straight mostly comedy and big action fight scenes, and they're ridiculously over the top.
But I didn't care in Thor Ragnarok or Thor Dark World.
Well, I don't want to get off. I don't want to get off on another movie, but I'm just saying, I feel like, and then they can come to a movie like Black Panther, which touches on some political themes.
Yes,
it has a much more personal, smaller story. This didn't have anywhere near the best or my favorite action scenes for any of these movies. They were entertaining and good. for me, this was all about the characters,
Right,
the
and that's
story
what makes it so
told.
good.
Yeah, right, yeah, and it's amazing to me they can have all these variations.
Yeah,
With the interconnected tissues from the characters.
yeah,
And and again, it's so refreshing when a movie wants to have a message that touches on modern political
it has
without
something
being
to
preachy,
say.
without being preachy,
Yes,
and without being one-sided.
right.
Without being one-sided, I love that. I'm like, I can take it all day. I can take the stuff that I don't agree with and give me some stuff I do agree with, or present it to me in a way that doesn't, that's not
Insult your intelligence.
Yeah, some of my intelligence are telling me that I'm a bad person because I don't agree with something.
Right.
It's so well done. The cast is amazing. I mean, one person has Angela Bassett. I just love her. I mean, I'm watching our 911, the TV show, and I mean, it feels like when she's on scene, it feels like I'm in the movie theater watching an Oscar performance. She's so good. But everybody, I mean, it's just one after the other. Like, wow, this character. It's so entertaining. The cast is amazing. And Ryan Coogler, obviously, I mean, he's this is only his third film, and he's hit a home run each time, in my opinion. So, it's 3.5 stars for me too, and it's a great lead into to the next.
One thing I like about this movie that a lot of the other Marvel movies haven't gotten, in fact, a lot of would-be cinematic universe movies haven't gotten, is that it doesn't overdo the fan service. There are no unnecessary appearances from other superheroes. Like, for example, in Thor Ragnarok, the Doctor Strange cameo. That was totally unnecessary. It just wasted time.
That's true.
But here, there's none of that. It's very economically made, and that really helps with the pacing. This movie moves, and it's not just like, ooh, you see, like, see this reference to this issue, or like, it's not, meant solely for like only true Black Panther fans will understand these references and jokes. It's none of that. This movie, Coogler is more interested in telling a story and creating entertainment rather than, obsessive fan service, and that I really liked.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, because this movie needed to introduce a whole new place, which is going to be pivotal in the stories going forward. But like all the other movies, you're I mean, aside from like Thor, you say you're in Asgard, but you're in New York City, you're in and so they had that was the other character in the film, and it felt like a real thriving place, and its people felt like a real people that lived there and that benefited from the it was their resource vibranium, which and they gave them all this great technology and abilities and stuff, and then how that affected them, living this. It reminded me of like a modern day like Dubai, where the people were very wealthy and stuff, and living there, and then that brought in the bigger issues that led back to the story with with the main villain, which Michael B. Jordan, I mean,
he was very good.
He's great. This to me, his villain reminded me, not to say it was anywhere near as great as Heath Ledger's Joker, but in taking what could have been a very cliched villain.
Yeah, he doesn't camp it up. No, he takes it seriously,
but bringing in this amount of realism, and that's probably because
that's what makes him so threatening.
Yeah, Ryan Coogler, I know he's he likes to bring in his hometown Oakland into his films.
Yeah,
but bringing in that, I love how you're in this this fancy made up world of Wakanda, but then they bring in this character who's from the inner city America, and he brings that vibe and that feel, that sort of that inner city gangster with him. He's very intelligent. He's not a dumb.
Oh, he's very smart.
Yeah, he's not a just I'm a ruthless killer with no
he's very smart. He's very on top of things.
Yeah. So it reminded me when I first saw Dark Knight, I felt Heath Ledger. It was a modern, realistic. If a Joker existed in the real world, and that's what I felt like with his villain.
Complete monster.
Yeah, and so I felt like one of Marvel's cinematic universe's strongest villains. To date, Loki is great.
Yeah, Loki's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Loki's fun, but I felt like he was a real fleshed out character.
Right.
So another reason to like this.
Like this movie.
Yeah,
it's great. It's a lot of fun.
It's great. Yeah, see it.